As the battle over abortion law in Georgia heats up, it is amazing to watch as many on the left have shifted their perspective on abortion itself. They have moved away from the 1990s formulation, safe, legal, and rare, toward a new formulation, good, plentiful, and happy. And the idea here is that abortion is, in fact, a moral good. In fact, there's an article in the New Yorker today that is titled, "Abortion is Morally Good," which is a fairly amazing statement. It's by a woman named Sarah Jones, and the article, "Abortion is Morally Good." What is the argument for why abortion is morally good? Well, the argument is basically that it helps women. Those who are interested in stopping abortion are interested in maximizing female pain. That those who are attempting to protect the lives of the unborn, quote, weigh the suffering of women against the prospective life of the fetus and favor the fetus in the end. Well, that's true, but why would that make abortion morally good? Well, writes this writer, "I've never needed an abortion, but I've been in an abusive relationship, and I think still of all the ways it could have been worse for me. I could have gotten pregnant, and I think that would have killed me." Well, you might have had a say in it. You were in the relationship, were you not? And your creation of a new human life the killing of that life would not be justified by the fact that you made a choice to be in a bad relationship. This writer says, "I was a 22-year-old student at a Christian university that expelled students for having sex outside the holy bonds of heteromatrimony." What's amazing is that this woman admits she was in an abusive relationship, but she's very angry at the Christian university that is trying to uphold a standard that says you should not be in abusive relationships. It's just, "I was suicidally depressed. When I look back at myself across the valley of a decade, I'm still surprised to be alive. I think of the people I knew then and how so many of them would have told me to carry a baby to term, even if it destroyed me." Well, yes. I mean, I think that a lot of people would have suggested that you should carry the baby to term because, again, the life of the baby means something here. And if you were going to commit suicide, right, if you were actually suicidal, then the vast majority of people who are pro-life would suggest that that is a case in which the mother's life is in danger. Just pregnancy would have been a punishment, not a miracle. "Nothing I lived through will convince an Alabama Republican to change his mind. To them, nothing I've done in my 31 years on earth, none of my accomplishments, none of my happiness elevates my worth above that of an embryo." Well, no, your worth as a human being, as if in your life were being endangered versus that of the embryo, your life would take precedence. But your worth, your feelings, your accomplishments, your subjective feeling of happiness, yes, that does not take precedence over a human life. Correct. That is true. But she says abortion is a moral good. And unfortunately, this is a line that has been picked up by the left. And if it's such a mistake by the left, honestly, like as a matter of politics, it's a mistake. Safe, legal, and rare was a formulation that at least most Americans could feel okay about. I mean, pro-life Americans were going to oppose it anyway, but people who are on the fence could at least feel like, yeah, abortion, it's not great, but I still want it to be there. It at least made them feel a little bit more sanguine about legalizing abortion, because the suggestion was that no one would take abortion so frivolously as to simply have an abortion out of convenience. And thus, because people were weighing abortion as a moral quandary, then their final decision shouldn't be left up to the state, it should be left up to them. Now, I think that's wrong, obviously, but that argument has at least a little bit more moral tether to it than the argument that is being made now. The argument being made now by the radical left is that abortion is fundamentally good, that depriving people of abortion is depriving them not only of a right, but of something that benefits them and has no consequences, has no downside.